Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the WZ-111. This is the Tier 8 Chinese Premium Heavy Tank. It was available as a reward tank on the EU server. Now, I did put up a WZ-111 game on my channel a month or a couple of months ago, and during that video I mentioned that this was a reward tank. It wasn't available for purchase from the gift shop, and had never been available for purchase from the gift shop. And a couple of people corrected me, and they corrected me well, correctly, because yes, on the EU server it was a reward tank, but on other servers, for example the Chinese server, this tank is available for purchase. So yep, I got that one wrong. But as far as the EU server goes, I still maintain this tank has never been available for purchase. Other people jumped in and said, but Irish, you know, it was available for purchase. You could buy it for €70. No, you couldn't. You could buy mission tokens on the EU server if you were willing to go in and make 7 separate purchases of €10 a time. So you had to go to the gift shop 7 times and buy 7 different purchases, which for tokens. Then yes, you could get this tank for about €70 here on the EU server. But at no point ever were you able to go into the gift shop and be able to click on the WZ-111 and click buy. The tank hasn't been for sale. Mission tokens were. Now, we could be splitting hairs here, but I still maintain the tank has not been for sale. You just got a shortcut to getting that tank by doing missions, and paying €70, 7 separate transactions for this tank doesn't count, and is madness in my mind, because this tank is not that much better or not that much worse than the 112. How do these two tanks measure up against each other? Well, basically the WZ-111 has got a faster top speed, but it's got less engine power. So on paper, the 112 maybe accelerates better, but on the other hand, the WZ-111 gets better ground resistance. So as far as speed and maneuverability go, I think the two tanks are very, very similar. The 112 gains an advantage regarding its armor, because the 112's frontal armor seems to be very, very good. It gets 10mm more frontal armor, but also it's sloped, and as you can see here, this thing is pike-nosed. The 112 also gets 10mm extra turret armor, so frontally the 112 is better armored. But then again, this tank does get an advantage over the 112, because basically the rate of fire is faster on this tank, so the DPM is a little bit faster, even though it's using the same gun. And then the 112 wins on gun depression, because the WZ-111 gets 5 degrees of gun depression, whereas the 112 gets 6 degrees of gun depression. But overall, I think these two tanks are very, very similar. Both tanks have strengths and weaknesses, but the differences are so minor. I really could pretty much say it's the same tank. The only major difference I've noticed is the frontal armor. Definitely the 112 is better frontal armor if you can hide your lower glacis, but the WZ's is not bad. It's not terrible, it's not bad, it's not particularly good either. But anyway, here we are on Hidden Village. I'm platooned with Bringy. Now at the start of this game, Bringy started pinging the village and saying, "Village guys, support, I need help in the village." And what does our entire team do? They charge over to the village. That happened quite a few times that night. So Bringy would give the team instructions during the countdown, and all of a sudden we'd have a lemming train on our hands. But we still have enough tanks moving up here along the north, or the top road on this map. So moving forward, I'm going to do the traditional heavy tank role. Like the 112, the 111 needs to keep its lower glacis hidden. And a position like here on the rocks is perfect for a tank that can go hull down. So IS-6 showing me his side, and boom, 415 damage. Now the gun on this is actually pretty standard. It's 122mm. As you can see, I'm looking for shots on the KV-4, but no point in taking them. 390 alpha damage is nice, but 175mm, a little bit lacking. And you can see I'm avoiding shooting the KV-4. I'm just be wasting my time shooting regular AP at the front of a KV-4. Go for an easier shot. So IS-6 is scraping. You can see it going hull down. The turret armor's holding up. So really, the IS-6 is about the only tank that's worrying me here. But we take out the KV-1S. Nice easy kill. He was failed platooned. IS-6 is side scraping, knows what he's doing. So, don't have to worry about him anymore. Thank you, Artie. Alright, so in the meantime, tank's moving up to my right. So, we're going to do a quick poke, auto aim, pop down, 362 health. And that's what this alpha damage can do. So we take out the T-25-2, and now the KV-4 is advancing. And again, I know from experience, this gun is just not good enough to take on a KV-4, not without premium ammo. So I'm debating whether or not I can get a shot down into his engine deck, and then, yeah, I've got to focus on the TDs in the north. So, just looking for shots. Oh, IS-2. And yeah, shooting up at this tank at that angle. Never going to pan unless he was managed to hit by lower glacis, but we're up to almost 2k damage. ISU-152 is poking this corner. Shoot through the trees, but probably got spotted. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe I did. That was slow going off. But again, he's on hold down. He doesn't want to engage me. I take a speculative shot. Had very little chance of penning that one. And really, I'm keeping an eye on that mini-map for that KV-4, because I've got a funny feeling the KV-4 could be flanking me. I do have a Yag Tiger and a VK backing me up, but oh, KV-4's appeared on the mini-map. And now he's got an IS-2 for support. So it doesn't look as if anyone wants to poke the corner. I've just been spotted again, and wow, what a camo rating on that T-28. He was sitting out in the open that entire time, couldn't spot him. He's firing gold, and then he hits me again, and it's kind of like, whoa, 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 I have no idea what gun he's firing, but the rate of fire, it's obviously not the final gun. And even though I've got my lower glacis hidden, you can see he has absolutely no problems going through the front of my tank. It's a slight beak nose, but I'm not going up against... I don't have the accuracy to go up against a T-28. So I've switched to premium to deal with the KV-4. We set him on fire, staying safe from the T-28 behind me. Now the T-28 is advancing, but I don't notice that in the mini-map. I'm kind of tunnel visioned here. I do take a glance behind me, but I don't realize the T-28's about to flank me. So I'm down to 700 hit points. Finish off the KV-4 and then take a huge hit from the T-28. So that guy, fair play to him, he advanced, he saw his chance. I've got to get out of there, he's hunting me down. So IS-2 misses, gets taken out, and this is where you can see the speed of this tank. We were able to relocate, get out of that bad situation very, very quickly. Now I do have a Borsig to my right, but I know that Bringy's keeping him occupied. And I've got a funny feeling the T-28 is still coming down towards me. I don't know, I just felt at this time that the T-28 was still trying to hunt me down. But we're on 3.5, 3.6k damage, 3 kills. And I'm still on premium ammo. Now the T-28's just fired, so I know he's probably not looking my way. No shots on the Borsig where I am. This is where maybe the lack of engine power, you get about 60 horsepower less on this tank than you do on the 112. We're crawling up at 6 kilometers an hour. But still on premium because I'm not sure where I'm going to be shooting this T-28. But we move forward, got to try and beat his traverse. Take a shot in the move and then just keep advancing. I tracked him in place, that was a little bit lucky. So we come around the corner. Do we have the reload to finish him off? There we go. So only one tank left on the enemy team. But yeah, the reload on this, the DPM is a lot better on the 111 than it is on the 112. I think Bringy or someone else is going to finish off the T-34. But yeah, it was a very, very comfortable game. Don't play this tank very often, but happy to pick up the first ace in it. So I actually prefer the WZ-111 over the 112. Now the 112 does have some strengths. It's got better frontal hull armor, it's got better frontal turret armor, it's got faster or better engine, it's got better horsepower to weight ratio, and it's got more gun depression. But I prefer driving the WZ-111. I think it's down to couple of factors: faster top speed, but better ground resistance at the same time. I think the tank is just handles a little bit better as a result. But even though it gets less gun depression, I think I prefer the gun on the WZ-111. Even though technically it's the same gun, you get slightly faster rate of fire and you get slightly better DPM as a result. Now the gun is still not perfect. You're going to suffer when you're up against tier 8 heavy tanks. You're going to have to fire some premium ammo now and again. You're going to suffer in tier 9 tanks. I mean, WZ-111 versus an E75 or ST1, usually no contest. But the tank is okay. It's maneuverable enough for me to like it. I prefer driving it over the 112. But that was my first ace tanker. Also picked up the high caliber in the tank. 1383 XP, quite happy with that. Almost 4k damage, 3 kills. Could have done with some more kills. 14 shots fired, 12 hits, 11 penetration. So even as top tier, the penetration on the gun let me down a little bit, and I did have to fire some premium. Now this is not a sniper, it's kind of a brawler, but more of a support tank. I'd say if you're trying to brawl in this tank, if you're not top tier, then it might suffer a little bit, but it's quite a solid tank. I was happy with the damage. 3 spotted, 7 damage, 3 destroyed, did 1657 assistance damage, and earned 94,000 credits with a premium account. So even though I did have to fire a little bit of gold, still made a healthy profit. It's a good moneymaker. I suppose it's as good as the 112 is. It's pretty much the same gun. 2,000 XP overall on a ×2 with the bonuses thrown in left me just short of 5,000 XP. Now, while I quite like the WZ-111, it still needs to go a long way before it replaces the IS-6, my favorite tier 8 premium heavy tank. At least the tier 8 premium heavy tanks with 122mm guns and 175mm of penetration. I think the armor is a little bit lacking on the WZ-111 compared to the IS-6. I think the IS-6 is more forgiving and has similar gun performance. But yeah, WZ-111, it's not bad. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.